Hey, quick video today. We're going to be installing an aftermarket HID LED headlight kit, and this one is from Auxbeam, and I'm going to be putting a link in the description. I've already tried this out because I wanted to try it before I bother making a video for it to make sure it's any good, and damn is it brighter than the standard bulb. Actually, probably about twice as bright. This is an H7, so this is going to be for my regular beam or main beam headlights, not the high beam. This is the low beam headlight one. And we're going to be installing this, and it's not extremely hard. It's kind of like putting any other bulb in, except there's going to be one little bit of a difference, and that's due to the heat sink on the bulb. So here's the bulb, and it has, it's like a ballast box on it, and then there's a heat sink in the back here, and the heat sink screws, it basically just screws on and off. This should screw on. There we go. It screws on, and you'll have to screw it off in order to get the wire clips that hold the bulb down on. So you just unscrew it, pull it back down along the wire, clip the bulb in, and then screw the heat sink back on. And before that, before I do it, it comes with an Allen key, a little tiny Allen key. You can see the hole there. I'm going to take the Allen key, loosen the collar around it, and rotate the collar so the little finger on the collar is pointing straight up and down with the light. So these two LED panels shine to the sides. The one thing I'm not sure of is, you can see, can you tell that that one, not on the camera? Oh no, okay, I'm looking through the camera and both those panels look yellow on the camera, oddly enough. You can see the one on the left is a little bit darker yellow, but when I'm looking at it around the camera, I'm looking and it's like a bright orange. And there's a bright orange panel on each side. So there's one little row of, oh there we go, row of orange, one row of yellow, and a row of orange and yellow, and that just balances out the color. I wasn't sure if, because I was looking through the camera on the first time and I saw that it was yellow, both these were yellow, but once I get closer, they're both yellow and orange. So you're gonna, like I said, take the little Allen key, loosen this collar, make sure the finger here is straight up and down with the bulb center there, the center, if you want to call it center arm, center molding, and make those both straight, and then tighten the Allen key back up, and that will make sure that the bulb is shining side to side, and that'll get the best brightness out of it. I've already, like I said, I tested it and adjusted it from side to side to say which was best, and that seemed to produce the best light output. So I'm going to get everything ready and show you how to install these. They're not too difficult. Driver's side, you can, Sapato. Anyway, the passenger side is very simple. Driver's side, you may need to remove the headlight housing, the entire headlight housing, to get it in there, but we'll go into that in a second. Okay, so I'm going to show on the driver's side housing, which is the more difficult one to access. The passenger side, you've got quite a bit of access by the air box, and the passenger side, you have good air access. The driver's side, not so much, because of the washer fluid bottle. So it would just be easier to show you how to do this on the driver's side and with the actual headlight out, and you'll be able to see stuff a little more easily than trying to look in behind everything. So to remove the headlight, first you need to remove this trim piece along the bottom. There's a little clip here, push down on it, down, and then reach with the other finger in the back and pull down on the other clip. So this clip here you pull down on, and this clip here you pull down on. So down, and slide that out. Slide the strip forward all the way, and then rock it out. See the two little fingers that go in there? So I'm going to take that off, and now we've got two 10mm bolts. You got one here and one up here, two 10mm. We'll take those two off and be back in a second. And what would I do if I didn't brain fart? I forgot the third bolt. There's a third bolt back here, right at the bottom, right there. So there's three bolts, three 10mm bolts, two on the bottom, one on the top. To take off. Then there's a little clip here. Push back and pull up. And it comes out of that little hole there. And now worm the headlight out without wrecking anything, without scratching your bumper. It's actually easier if you remove the little pinch cover. Where is it? I don't have the other side one here to show you. There's a little cover that you pinch the two clips and pull it off for the headlights. If you take that off, it's a little easier. So I'm going to need two hands to pull this out without wrecking anything, without scratching anything. I'll be back in 1 second. Okay, now that I've got it slid out, I'm going to detach the two wires for the bulbs on the side marker and blinker, and take this whole thing and pull it out. So this wire harness here is for the headlights, and this harness is for the side blinker. If you ever need to change it, that's how you change the front turn signal headlight bulb. Just pulls in and out. Get in there. There we go. It's locked. So now we're going to grab the back cover, pull that off. Little finger here that you push on, and it releases the catch. This is the bulb we're going to be replacing. This is the low beam bulb. It's got the 2-wire connector on it. Simply pull it to unplug. 2 little metal clips, pinch them together, and lift up. Take your bulb and pull it up, and you can see the little finger that we've already looked at on the new bulb. So anyway, I'm going to pull this out. I'll get the other bulb in. We'll be back in 2 seconds. Okay, so I've loosened the set screws and aligned the finger on the bulb base so it's straight with the middle part, so it's straight up and down. And now we're just going to, we're going to unhook the ballast from the back. It should be screwed on. No, this one's not screwed on yet. So just put that down for a second. And then I'm going to unscrew the bulb from the heat sink. This big black part is an aluminum heat sink that allows the bulb to cool off because it's very high power. That white stuff is, they call it heat sink grease. It's like insulator heat sink grease. You'll find it on computer panels or computer PCB boards or motherboards and stuff. Keeps them from overheating, and it transfers the heat to the aluminum. So I'm going to unwind that all the way and be back in 1 second. Okay, so it's unwound. I can simply take the bulb, gently feed it into the light. Oops, there goes my heat sink. Can't break anything, it's a heat sink. It's just a solid piece of aluminum. Now we're going to take the little spring clips, push down, push together, and clip them back on once this gets aligned in there. Why doesn't that want to go in? Shoot, now I know what I did. Hold on, back in 1 second. Okay, my original way of installing it with taking the heat sink completely off is not going to work, because screwing it back on, you end up rubbing up against the lip here, the plastic lip of the headlight housing. So what you have to do is screw the heat sink partly on. As you can see here, it's kind of up, and then weasel the little metal spring clips down underneath. You need 2 hands kind of do that, pop them down underneath, and then wind it down as you pull the spring clips over. You'll be fine. It will work. And then once you get the heat sink down, it will go underneath the plastic lip here, and this wide part won't be in the way. You could cut the lip on here if you wanted to. I wouldn't recommend it. That's where the seal is, but this will work. So I'm just going to put that on, screw the heat sink on, and push the little wires in and clip them in. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so once the wider bottom lip of the heat sink is in, you can screw it down. See, I've got to put these 2 clips in now that it's down here because it's interfering with screwing this in. So I'm going to clip the 2 clips in, screw the heat sink down, be back in 2 seconds. Okay, so now the heat sink is bolted on. The clips are back in place. so it's all nice and tight in there. And now we move on to wiring. You've got two ends. You've got the end, this end plugs in to the bulb, and then you've got the little transformer. And you've got this end that's going to plug into the two-pronged wiring, original wiring bulb connector here. It just plugs in. It's like a little electrical outlet, plugs in. And I'm going to take this part and I'm going to put double-sided tape on here and tape it on the inside of the bulb cover. So I'm going to do that now and be back in a second. Okay, so there's the ballast transformer. Again, double-sided taped into the back of my cover. Wiring is plugged in. And so I'll tuck the wiring back a little bit. Put the feet, two lower feet there that go in those two holes. What to do with one hand. It will go in. I've already tested it. I've already checked it. It fits fine. Okay, make sure there's no wires popping out anywhere. I've got to put my adjuster back on that popped off. Oh, something's popping out. Something's sticking out. Something's in the way. Nope, there we go. And back on. So I'm going to put this headlight back in. I'll leave the original one on this side before I do it. I'll leave the original and you can see the difference between the two. So I'm going to hook this all back up, exactly the opposite of taking it out, and show you the result in a second. Okay, so there's the driver's side bulb, passenger side bulb on the side. And on the garage door, well, that one is significantly brighter. How that'll translate to on the road, I haven't figured that out yet, but I'm going to place the other side and we'll take a look at it once it gets dark out. We'll go for a drive and take a look. So I'm going to do the other side and finish up and be back in a little bit once it gets dark. Okay, one more quick thing to consider before we do the nighttime drive is that these lights are, I was sent these lights to review, and I'm not sure I don't really like the two position. This is a dual color bulb, so it has the ability to be two different colors. I mean, if you like that, you like that. It's for some people this would be really cool, I'm sure. But when you turn on your lights, they're white. Turn your lights off and on again, they're now yellowish. So it'd probably be pretty good in the fog, actually. So some people might actually like this. Myself, no, I'm not a fan. I'm always going to be using the white position. But yeah, that's just kind of odd looking. I don't even know if that's illegal in Canada. It's a lot yellower on camera than it is in real life. It's a little less yellow than that. It looks more like a regular bulb. But yeah, I think I would probably be driving in the white position all the time. But it does give you the option of switching back and forth, and they do have regular bulbs that are just a single color. For myself, choosing the second time, I would choose the single color option, because switching my headlights on and off to switch colors, yeah, I'm not a big fan. But these lights are, I like the way they look. Anyway, we'll see how they are at night, how they are in the dark. That'll be the big test. Otherwise, like I said, it's all a matter of choice for people. I'm not a fan of the dual color. Some people might be. So yeah, we'll go out in the dark and test this out in a little bit. It's getting there, not quite. But for fog, this might be actually pretty good, because yellow penetrates fog better than white does. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Anyway, we'll be back in a little bit once it gets dark. Okay, well, this is the beams in yellow when they're the off color. I'm going to switch them. In order to do that, I have to turn off the lights and turn them back on. Oh no. Ah, crap, I have to put it in neutral so the running lights, daytime running lights, go off. And now it's in white. The white is actually very, very bright. It's actually pretty good. That's low beams, and high beams, low, So that's just the white lights, the LEDs. And that's high beams. It's pretty hard to... Rainy, sorry. I guess it's kind of hard to tell at night, but yeah, they are actually brighter than the regular bulbs that were in it. There's the light bar. That's what I generally use to drive through the forest at night because I don't want to run over any deer. But anyway, high beam, low beam, yeah, they are much brighter. The yellow, the secondary color, the yellow is not as penetrating as the white. The white is much better. So I'm actually going to keep these in, and I'm going to alter the module, the wiring in the module, in order to keep it so I don't have to turn the lights on and off to switch between colors. Because every other time you start the car, it's just going to go into the yellow color, and I just want to use the white all the time. So I'm going to switch back and forth, or I'm going to switch it around so it's always in white. Again, that's if someone wants dual colored lights, hey, there you go, dual colored lights. But if not, then order the kit with the single color. There are two different ones. So yeah, these are actually really good. I did check the heat sink. I left the car running for about an hour until it got dark out. And I left the car running in the driveway with the headlights on, and it did not get super hot. It's not hot enough to melt plastic. I don't think there's going to be a problem dissipating the heat from the LED. There doesn't seem to be any issue there. So